We're live. Yay! We already have some people here. I'm so excited. And to all those people who might have thought my dog was a distraction, which, I mean, to be honest, she was. Check this out. Sleep like a baby. So we won't have any of those problems. Look how big she is, Wendy.
Yeah, she's getting big. Wow. She is bigger.
I know. No more putting her in my little hands, to carry her and everything. Okay, I have Letty from Texas. Letty, it just occurred to me today that you may be the Letty that I was on your radio show in Chicago, but you have Letty from Texas. I don't know too many Lettys. You came up on my Facebook feed. If you are the same Letty, then please let me know because it just clicked to me today. I know, Letty, she has grown so much. Hi, Cherie. So good to see you. I hope you have all of your questions ready. So I am going to be the moderator reading the comment section. I'm just going to pop some questions over to Wendy. We were just talking about, even though she's up in Chicago in 60-degree weather, I'm down here in Florida in like 80-degree weather. We both have a fan. I hope you guys don't hear that. You can see my hair blowing in the wind. It could be looked at like it's a nice effect, but it's just warm in here. So, oh, you're not. Okay, Letty, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I just didn't want to.
Another Letty.
Yeah, totally different Letty. Okay, so it's 6:31. We prayed a lot of deliverance prayers today, right before we got on here. Cherie, it's raining there. It's supposed to snow Wednesday and Thursday. You're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're going to get snow. End times, baby. End times.
Kendra.
Okay, so I know, right? All right, here it goes. I'm going to start off with questions. You guys type in your questions so that we can get things started. Oh my gosh, so crazy, Cherie. Can't wait to see you on the 23rd. We'll have to hook up and see if I can get together with you either Friday night or Saturday night. So let me know which is best. Okay. Wendy, one of the things I watched our video and I edited it. One thing that I don't know for sure was, and you, by the way, have no idea what these questions are, so they're going to kind of come at you.
I don't.
I know. So I was just wondering, when you look at someone in terms of their behavior, like I think about family, mostly like the kids who are probably getting into things that they're not supposed to get into, like you and I did, not knowing that they may be opening a door. Are there specific signs that you can tell parents to keep an eye out on that will impact the whole family because they might be bringing these spirits in or opening doors in their own house by through the computer, through their phones?
Well, I mean, the computer and the phones is huge because everybody has one now. I mean, way back it wasn't like that, but I would say new age books, crystals, any kind of like like charms that look different. Look them up online. See whether or not they're amulets or whatever you would call them. You know what I mean? I would say, crystals, amulets, any kind of new age books. They're friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I'm just going to bring up someone, not going to name their names, but they hang out with some people who, frankly, are on the side of, I don't know what sex I am, maybe homosexual. These people are not even in high school yet. And this person absolutely, completely changed. A girl cut her hair super short, wore like big, dark, baggy clothes, and again, was hanging out with these people, yet didn't know who she was, what she was. She has since snapped out of it, if you will. She is growing her hair out. She's dressing like a girl in pink and wearing some makeup. And I'm
Thank
just
God.
so grateful.
Yeah,
But
thank
I
God.
don't know, was there some influence? Because I will tell you, she shared with me some of these YouTube videos or websites or even like maybe other streaming things that were downright evil. And she's a kind of person
Mhm.
who really loves to watch the gore, like the
Mm.
scary movies and stuff. So,
Yeah.
what's your interpretation of all of that?
I'm pretty sure it was Father Rehill that talked about a young man, I think it was, and they did deliverance prayers on him. I'm not sure, I don't remember whether or not it was an exorcism, but he was fine after that, and he didn't have any of those tendencies anymore. You know what I mean? So, I would say I think it's demonic. I think that kids are very young and they're impressionable. You remember when we were teens, right?
Yep.
Um, they want to fit in. Um, they want to fit in, and so some kids I think are confused. I,
Yeah.
I personally think it is demonic.
Amen. And if they're getting this at school, and again, I don't know if it was coming through the teachers. I'm not blaming all teachers. I think it's kind of an establishment thing. But when you start talking and convincing, and I can hear stuff come out of kids' mouths that are like,
Mhm.
well, there's a difference between sex and gender. And this is a taught
Yeah,
phrase, just like maybe we didn't
yeah,
have that, but we had my body, my choice kind of things that we
mhm.
just were programmed to believe. And I think if we are parents, and if you're Christian, doesn't matter, Catholic, Christian, we have to be aware of these things. And I think last time you
Yeah.
talked about like kind of getting into their kitchen, like maybe
Oh
search
yeah.
their room. You said you
Well,
wouldn't read their
now I
diary. I
think
said I
you search
would.
their phone. I say you search their phone, um, because that's where you're going to find everything.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, sure, you could find stuff in their bedroom now, I suppose that you could, but if they're clicking, they're doing this all day, all the time with their friends, and that's the internet is can be a good tool and it can be a bad tool, you know.
Amen.
Uh,
Amen to that.
yeah,
Oh,
a good tool
okay.
and a bad tool.
Pornography. I mean, you start watching porn, you have opened up, there is a spirit named
Yeah, that's a
pornography.
door.
You have opened up the door and you have invited, knowing or not, and
Hmm.
God only allows this, right? I mean, He has control over the spirits that come into your life or don't. And I think about my life. I was addicted to porn. I was promiscuous. I was sleeping around before I was married, when I was married. I watched, all the shows that had all this sex, 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 sex. I wasn't into the, scary stuff because I just didn't like the scary stuff,
Yeah,
but I had a whole, a whole different kind of life. And I want to say that it's actually called like perfect possession, even though I'm not possessed. The demons didn't have to get into my life and ruin it because I was doing everything that they wanted me to do to begin with.
yeah, it wasn't perfect possession though. I mean, it was just you giving into temptation. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all that. You giving into
And even
temptation.
I
That's
knew
it.
that it was wrong. So I think it's important for us
Right.
to have those spiritual conversations because I don't know any better time than now because you can see it. I'm sure kids.
Oh, I lost your audio. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can't hear you. Is it you or me? Can't hear you at all. Nothing. Uh-oh. Let me see. What? I can check mine. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. I'm fine. My audio's working. Hang on. Uh, it's not me. Mine's working. I can't hear you at all. I don't know. It's not me. Uh-oh. Do you want me to call you? Yeah, I'm fine. So what do we do? Can you hear me now? I can hear you on the phone. I can't hear you on the. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, stop. I'm gonna I'm gonna mute you. You talk. Can you hear me now? I still hear you talking, but it's not on the computer, on the phone. We're gonna try this because I can hear myself through your speaker on your phone. Right. Here's a question for you. Okay. When you realized that friend was a witch, yeah, did she leave you alone, or was it hard to get her out of your life? Oh, it wasn't easy to get her out of my life. No, I suffered for a long time after that. So I left. I did not know that she was a witch when I left her. Okay. I I just knew that something was wrong. I thought her friend was weird. I didn't think that she was. So it was a while before I knew. I moved to another city, like I said, and I met up with a friend. The first time I went to mass, I met up with a friend who also had prayed with her. That's how I met this friend, and she told me she was a witch. And then I think it was no, first it was the priest that said she could be a witch, and then I met my friend and she said she could be a witch. So it was like this whole process of figuring it out. So it was a while. Um, Once I left her prayer group, things got much, much worse, much worse. And then we ended up moving. Honestly, I can't remember how much longer that was. Maybe a year at most, not even. And then things here at this house weren't as bad, but it wasn't gone, but it wasn't as bad as it was at the other house. Okay, does that answer that question? I think it does. Okay. Can you see comment on your? I cannot, but I can put it on. I can see it now, I think. I only see you though. Oh no, I see Letty there. Okay. Yes, it answers her question. Okay. Okay. There's nothing I can do. Her. Yes. Okay. Can they hear you? Can you guys hear her? Yeah. I can hear me. You got to type and let us know if you can hear Kendra. Okay. How many people are? I don't know. Can you share a little bit about what your other friend experienced from the same witch? Okay, they cannot hear you, so I don't know how to make them hear you. I think they can hear me. Hold on. Okay, you guys can't hear Kendra. So maybe I can repeat the question until you figure it out. Can you hear me through Wendy's phone? They cannot. Sorry, guys. This is spiritual warfare happening right before us. It really is. So, what was your question? Say it again. Oh, what did my friend have happen to her from the same witch? You know, I can't really tell you because it wasn't my experience. Things happened a little bit different for her, but we had things that were the same too, you know. I had a lot of sleeping problems. As far as I know, she did not have any sleeping problems that I'm aware of. But that was her experience, so I don't know. I can't really answer that question. Yeah, the technology prayer would probably be a good idea, but I don't have it on me.
Hang on, she might have texted.
It's garbled.
Okay.
Did you just talk into your phone? Because I didn't hear you. Sorry, guys.
That's weird. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm gonna go to Liddy now. The very last comment.
Okay, can a curse that was placed on a close relative be passed on to children and grandchildren even after the curse was returned to the witches that placed it on a relative? Okay. Can a curse that was placed on a close relative be passed on to children? If a person curses you, they curse you. Now, if it was Freemasonry curse, that's a whole new ballgame. But if a curse was placed on me, it was placed on me. It wasn't placed on my kids. So I don't know that I know that Freemasonry curses do go generation to generation to generation. Okay, but just what that woman did to me, that was a curse on me, not on my family. They were affected by the demonic stuff that was in my house. Um, they were definitely affected by the demonic stuff. Did they curse my family? I don't think so. I think they just cursed me, and that because there were demons in my house, everybody was affected by that. But I would say in your case, in Father Ripperger's book, here it is, Deliverance Prayers for the Lady. I'm sure you all know about it. If you don't, you can get it on Amazon. In the back of that book, there's a whole series of prayers for Freemasonry. So I would say that you should, the way I understand it, the oldest male person in the family would need to say these prayers. Okay, if they've passed away and there's no more male, um, and there's no more male family members, it would be to the oldest female family member. They have to be in a state of grace. They have to be going to mass. If they're not, then you just go down the line until, even if it's a female and there's no male left, and then you say those prayers, if I remember correctly, 3 times on 3 different days. It's got to be a day spaced in between. They're hard prayers to say, because it's so evil. But we did say those prayers because my mother's grandfather was a Freemason. And so there are certain curses that they can place on your family members. So if you see like addiction, addiction after, generation to generation to generation, then you're going to want to consider finding out if on either side of your family there was a Freemason, and if there was, you want to say those prayers. You can I'm trying to remember what the name of that, what Libre Christe is Father Ripperger's website. You can go on there to find out information about that as well, but also in the back of this book. So I hope I explained that properly, but if anyone's unclear, go on Libre Christe. You can email them. You can watch the videos on there. But yeah, if you have anyone that was in Freemasonry in your family and you're seeing certain, sins like addiction or even death, child death is another one. What you're going to want to do is say those prayers as soon as possible, or have the right person in your family say those prayers. Okay, does that work?
You're doing great.
I hope so. I repeat myself a lot, so sorry.
Okay, so when I put a question on the screen, let me know if you can see it.
I see one from Karen. Is there a way to cast out a curse from? Okay, yes. Oh, yeah.
Sure. So I'm going to send you questions that way. You have the technology prayer. I just texted it to you. Can you pray it?
All right, hold on. All right, hold on, guys. Okay. Lord Jesus Christ, sovereign King, enthroned in heaven, in your love and mercy, establish a perimeter of protection with your precious blood around our communication devices and all technology used during this session. The cameras or webcams, microphones, speakers, displays, and any other software, Wi-Fi connections in the air, both our routers and the routers of, both my router and the router of Kendra and anyone assisting, the optic cables involved in the transmission of data, and the light waves being used to transfer data. Cleanse them with the precious blood and drive from them any satanic influence. Establish around them a sanctuary of your mercy where Satan and other evil spirits or human agency cannot interfere. I ask, Father, that you would block, bind, rebuke, and render impotent any assault of the evil one from them in any way. Father, so long as these instruments are utilized in the ministry of divine mercy, we ask you to allow them to enjoy the protection of the Blessed Mother, Saint Michael the Archangel, and all the holy angels. We ask this in your most holy name, the name before which every knee shall bow in heaven, on earth, and under the earth, that Jesus Christ is Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that works. Can't hear you. Okay, so there is a question right here that Karen asked. Says, is there a way to cast out a curse from witchcraft the same way that we cast out spirits? Is there the same? Well, all you want to do is you want to well, I got to think about this question. Is there a way to cast out a curse from witchcraft? Well, so the curse can be, say someone curses you and you, this is so weird that I can hear myself. Say that someone curses you and you're like really depressed. You're gonna cast out the spirit of depression. Or if you're super anxious, you're gonna cast out the spirit of anxiety. So don't think of the curse as like it's just, how do I explain it? I'm kind of feeling like what you're saying is the curse is different than, like, the curse could be depression. The curse could be that you're sick. The curse could be that you have anxiety. You see do you understand what I'm saying, Karen? So what you would want to do, what you would want to do, you're up. Yeah, I hear you.
I think what she's asking is,
Yeah, that's what you're going to do. That's exactly what you're going to do. So like I said, the curse could be anything. Now, if you have like I was given objects that were cursed and I didn't know it. So this witch gave me a beautiful crucifix. I carried it with me literally everywhere I went for probably 3 years before, getting rid of that cross was so hard for me because it was a cross. And I wish I would have known at the time I could have had it blessed, but I didn't. So I did. I threw it away. So you can have items that are cursed. That's why I always say, be careful who you accept things from. Because it could bring you a lot of harm. So Karen, I think she said she thinks so. I hope so. Okay. What do you notice? What do you notice now when you meet new people to make sure it doesn't happen again? Usually there's a feeling. I have a feeling. I'll just know that I don't want to be around that person. I'll usually watch that person. So I'll give you an example. There was this guy that came to church, daily mass, and he showed up for about 2 weeks in a row. And he was chewing gum, which is weird because why would he be chewing gum at mass? And then he would receive the communion on his hand and walk right out of the church. And before I even seen him do that, I just had a feeling that something wasn't right. And I prayed. I said, God, if this person is bad, if they're stealing the Eucharist or whatever they're doing, make them go away, make them stop coming. And he stopped. He didn't come anymore. So, another thing I would say is, like, if you meet a new person and they're very curious about your life and they want to ask you all kinds of questions, they want to know everything about you, be really careful what you say. I thought she was my friend and we talked, like girls talk. And she knew things about my life and she used those things against me. So, but a stranger, what?
Were you like that with me?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. She's a psycho. No, you're so funny. No, I wasn't like that. No, it's like a really interior feeling. There was another lady that came to our church, and it was when I first moved out there, and she would come to mass and she would wear dark sunglasses and a hat. I'm like, what is with this chick? Like, this is not normal behavior. And she hung out for, I don't know, maybe a couple months, and then she disappeared. But she was weird, and people avoided her. It wasn't just me. So just kind of, not that I'm not saying that you should judge people, just if you have a feeling inside, that's your guardian angel saying, be careful. Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't take anything from anybody. I'm saying, be careful. Now, what was his name again? Father Rookie. I'm sure some of you know Father Rookie. I was given a bunch of medals. And at the time I was like, I don't want these medals. So I wrote him and he said, take them to a priest, have the priest bless them, and leave them in the church for someone else to take. So according to Father Rookie, if you have a cursed object blessed, I guess it's okay. For me, after what happened to me, I wasn't keeping those. I wasn't.
I don't blame you.
Okay.
Overall versus just demonic attacks that happen to us to draw us into temptation.
Well, witchcraft is demonic. It's evil. It's satanistic. It's very powerful. One of the most powerful, horrible, evil things that can happen to you. I'm actually trying to write an article right now about it, but I was on YouTube, on my YouTube, page, and certain things pop up, how they're following us around all the time. And for whatever reason, this ex-witch came. She was like, these are the symptoms of witchcraft. And one of the things she said was plumbing problems and smelling garbage. And it triggered a few memories for me. So the garbage one's pretty interesting. I went to a Marian conference years ago during the time I was praying with this person. And at the Marian conference, they had like a small room for adoration, which was awesome. And so they wanted us to sign up for the overnight hours. So we signed up for 1 o'clock in the morning, my mother and I. And when we went in there, it was really small. There was only like, I don't know, not that many chairs, maybe 12 chairs at the most. And my mom sat in front of me, and there was like 2 or 3 other people there. And all of a sudden, the entire room smelled horrific. Like it did. It smelled like garbage. It smelled so bad. And I kept thinking, why isn't anybody else smelling this? Like no one's reacting. I'm looking at everybody. And then I noticed that there was someone on the floor behind me in a sleeping bag. Now, it could have been, a person who decided they wanted to sleep by Jesus all night. I don't know, one way or the other. It could have been something bad. Like I said, I don't know one way or the other. But I remember that one of the ladies in there, she had rollers in her hair. It was cute. She was older. So she had rollers in her hair. And the next day I saw her early in the morning walking, and she still had those rollers in her hair. And I stopped her and I said, you were in the chapel last night, at 1 o'clock in the morning. My mom and I were there. I'm like, did you smell anything? Did you smell garbage? I'm not kidding you. The woman looked at me and grabbed me and just hugged me. She never said anything. And I kept thinking, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And honestly, until I watched that video, I never knew. And that was only like a week ago, not even. Isn't that crazy? So that's a sign, you know, smelling garbage. If you're super clumsy, you could feel pushes from a demon, black shadows in your house, uh, depression, anxiety, uncontrollable fear, isolation. It's a lot.
And you said it can all be cast out just like we are doing it to even.
You know what? When you're in the thick of it, there's a reason for that. Okay. God's calling you to himself. He's allowing it to happen. So, either you opened a door and you invited this in yourself, or you didn't. I didn't. I just prayed with someone who I thought was a holy Catholic person. She turned out to be a witch. Okay. It took me a long time to figure out, 3 years to figure out that she was a witch. And even when it was brought up to me, I was like, I don't know, witches aren't real. If God is allowing this to happen in your life, you gotta get on the other side of it. That's what I had to do. I had to get on the other side of it. If you open the door yourself, confession. You got to go to confession. You need to see a priest. Even if you didn't open the door yourself, you need to see a priest. I didn't have that luxury because at the time, we didn't have deliverance priests and exorcists available to us like there are now. So either way, you need to see a priest. You need deliverance prayers prayed over you. You need the Eucharist daily if it's possible. You need to go to confession weekly. I used to go to confession. I would go to confession all the time, multiple times a week. That was what? Scrupulosity. You're going to have obsessive thoughts that you're not going to be able to control, that you're stupid, that God hates you. The devil's gonna scream in your head everything negative, every weakness that you have that he knows about. He's gonna scream it in your head, and he's gonna beat you down and beat you down and beat you down. It's oppression. It's oppression. What did you learn about when she said, what did you learn about what she said and her husband were getting out of casting spells on you? I don't understand this question. What did you learn about what she and her husband were getting out of casting spells on you? I, you know, they were just very evil people, and they wanted to hurt other people. I was at her house once. Obviously, I had no idea she was a witch at the time. And usually it was just me, her, and Angela, which you'll learn about my friend Angela in the book. Um, and one time it was just me and this older lady. She was an older lady. She was very thin. She was very sick. She was very, very sick. And she wanted, and I almost said her real name, the witch, Jana, to pray over her. And she was touching her all over. And I mean, she was basically cursing this lady. And most likely, the reason that that lady was as sick as she was is because of that. Because instead of her going to a priest for healing, she was going to some woman that she knew. Never do that. Don't let lay people touch you. Don't don't tell don't tell people your secrets, your personal stuff. And definitely don't let any lay people touch you or pray over you, most especially in Latin. It's just not, no, don't do it. I had illnesses. I had headaches. I had stomach problems. I had definite issues. And those things, some of the things that happened to me lingered. And I still have certain things that are wrong with me, but I guess that's up to God, whether or not he's going to heal me of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So how come you won't share her name? Her name is Jana. I won't share her real name, no. But in the book, her name is Jana. Why? Why? Because she could sue me. That's why I would never do that. Mm-mm. Nope. Uh, yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, well, because she could. That's why I changed everything in there. Plus, there's probably going to be, I mean, witches find out about this book. They could, I mean, I got to be ready. I don't want my family's names out there, anybody's name out there. All right, Kendra, got to ask me another question. What do you hope everyone takes away from this? Well, you got to be really smart. You don't want to be paranoid about other people, but you need to be smart. Um, you need to get rid of stuff in your house. If you find like new age books or crystals or whatever, you got to get rid of them. You have to get rid of them. If you like them and you spent a lot of money on them, and I know a lot of people did, you got to get rid of them. Most likely they're cursed. I mean, you go to a place like that, and you don't think those people are into witchcraft? How do you get rid of them? That's a great question. How do I answer that question? There's a book by Father Robert de Grandes. It's called Intergenerational Healing. And in that book, he tells you what to do. It has something to do with a river, and it has to be flowing a certain way. Honest to God, it's in the book. Again, it's called Intergenerational Healing by Father Robert de Grandes. I can try to think about writing an article about that. Remind me, Kendra, because I don't have a pen to write it down. But yeah, I think you're supposed to bless it and put it in a river where the river flows. I'm thinking east, but I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah. Intergenerational healing. Can we just bury it? If it's cursed, I wouldn't do that. Because what if somebody finds it later? Remember Jumanji? Remember Jumanji, everybody? That was a cursed game. That whole movie was about a cursed game. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. At least not unless you had it blessed. I wouldn't do that. I would have it blessed, and then, I threw my stuff away because I didn't know, and I didn't have it blessed. So, I'll try to look into that and write a little bit of an article on that. You can have, I items blessed and then burn them. You probably could burn them, but a lot of what she gave me was like the cross, you know. I had some dream catchers. Yeah, those are bad as decors. And when we realized how bad they were, we threw them away in the trash. Too late for a river now. You're right. It is too late. I didn't know at the time. All I knew is I discovered I had cursed items and I was going to get rid of them as fast as possible. That day, I didn't care. I didn't care. I actually took one of those giant exercise balls and I cut it open, and all the stuff that I knew that was cursed, I stuck in that ball and I threw it away. And like I said, I felt bad later, but I had to get rid of them. I couldn't have them in my house anymore. And I want to bring up one thing my girlfriend told me. Do you know those I threw it away. Those little tiny like Christmas they're like angels and the Blessed Mother, and there's like a million different kinds of them. Um I wish I knew what they were called. Oh, I should text her and ask her right now. But there was my girlfriend texted me and she says, Wendy, do you have one of these? You need to get rid of it. They are cursed. And I was like, what? I had it for years. I had two of them. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about, Kendra? Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? No, I don't hear you anymore. Not precious moments. They're like real pretty, like little angels and little blessed mothers and like a little lady holding a baby. And I can't remember what they're called. But when they first came, it's not it wasn't a nativity set. It was just like this designer who had all these different little figurines. Not Lalajos, they're wooden. They're wooden. They're little wooden figures. Yeah, I can't do it. But anyway, if you have one of those, you're supposed to get rid of them. I hated throwing that away. I'm not going to lie, but I did. I threw it away. Willow, it might be Willow. The faceless ones, yes, that's it. The faceless, yes. They have no faces. And we should also do that with the Harry Potter books. Yeah, Harry Potter books are really bad. According to different exorcists, there's real curses in there. So, yeah, I would get rid of them. I know that a friend of mine wanted to buy Harry Potter books for a kid, and I'm like, please, not the Harry Potter books. So, what if the curse was lifted and returned to the witches? That is why I asked if curses could be passed on. I don't know how to answer that question. When you lift a curse, you just break it. I don't think it goes back to the witch. Usually when exorcists pray, they send the demons to the foot of the cross so that Jesus can take care of them. I would think that if you break the curse, it just doesn't exist anymore. Right? That's what I think. Yeah, the willow tree. She's right on that. Yes, that's it. The man and the woman, no faces. Yeah. I didn't know. I had them for years. I didn't know that.
Okay, that's a good one. I got to get rid of mine. I just got it as a gift when Jeff died, so I haven't had it very long.
Yeah.
And we're talking, how do you get rid of it?
I would say get it blessed by a priest, and you know what? Ask the priest what you should do. That's what I would say. You may go to a priest and you may say, what do you mean? What do you mean these are cursed? I'll just ask my girlfriend where she found that information, and maybe I can get a hold of it. But I wasn't going to take any chances after everything that happened to me, so I just got rid of it.
Hey. Sorry, I didn't realize I was being. Oh, Passy just sent me a picture. Hang on, let me look. At least you can see me. I can share it.
How do you know if they're cursed? Well, we don't know. We don't know if they are or not. She just sent me something, said they were, and I was like, I'm not taking any chances.
These are the ones.
Yeah, hold it back a little. Back up. No, that's worse. Yeah, those are them. They said they were supposed to be big. Now, I don't know if they are or not, but I wasn't taking any chances.
All right, I gotta get rid of them. Got it from my neighbor. Okay, Leo had us burn. Sorry, you're supposed to read these.
Okay, that's right. Father Leo had us burn items that were made of anything that would burn. Yeah, I agree with that. And at that point, you wouldn't have to have them blessed. You just burn them. I mean, it was an older witch who returned. I mean, it was an older witch who returned the curse. I don't understand that. You got to give me more information. Right.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, I have to get rid of those things.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You will. He blessed them first. Before you burned them, he blessed them. Well, that's okay. Then get them blessed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was shocked about it, honestly, because they're so cute and pretty, but
So why are they bad? What did you find out about them?
because she said they were supposed to be cursed, so I just got rid of them. Do I know this for sure? No, I don't know for sure, but like I said, right, right. I mean, it was what is it?
Okay.
What? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. There's a little delay.
Okay. Oh, Katie.
Yeah, look that up. How can we talk to our kids about curses and demonic things out there? Well, I mean, depends on how old your kids are, I suppose. If they're teenagers, you got to tell them straight up what's going on and what they could be opening themselves up to, I suppose. Little kids, I don't know that I would say anything to a smaller child. I mean, I probably went and talked to a kid about curses until they were probably 13 years old. And then you just explain to them that there's good, that there's evil. I mean, if you're going to church, you know, they know that there's a God and they know that there's a devil. And they have to know that there's demons. So you just have to explain to them that sometimes people aren't good and they want to hurt you. And to protect yourself, hey, to protect yourself, you need to pray. You need to go to church on Sunday and receive the Eucharist. You need to go to confession. And you need to not be drawn into alcohol and drugs and pornography and new age things. That's what you have to do. You have to kind of lay it all out there. Because if you don't, they're going to get exposed to it one way or the other. They are. They just are. Yeah. Oh, is it on there? It says there's nothing sinister about the faceless willow tree sculptures. What year was that? I wonder.
Let me look.
Because I threw mine away like 3 years ago. See?
2022.
Yeah, mine was like 2-3 years ago. So whatever she's saying, I'll have to look that up. So maybe people must have texted her about that, or you know what I mean, and wanted to find out about it. I just threw it away because I was like, I'm not. What does it say? Yeah, see, so people, maybe it was a hoax that came out about it. I don't know. So it's up to you.
Uh,
I was just reading that. They're surrounded by things like Pokemon and Harry Potter. Pokemon is supposed to be bad. Harry Potter's bad. Magic the Dragon is bad. These are things that my kid had when he was little. We didn't know, you know. Um, I mean, probably individual ones could be cursed, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suppose they could. Um, I don't really know. I always go on the side of caution, especially after what happened to me, you know. So your kids are, I mean, Pokemon's a big deal in school. You know, talk to your priest about it. Ask your priest what your priest thinks about Pokemon. I know Magic the Dragon is going to say stay away from that. And Harry Potter for sure. Pokemon, maybe you ask your priest and see what he says. When in doubt, cast it out. I agree. I agree. I agree. Mm-hmm. What?
I think.
How can you protect your kids in your house? Well, use the sacramentals at home, right? You can bless your kids every night with blessed holy oil, exorcised holy oil. You can pray over your children. Um, you know, like I read a comment over here about some lady who they do scripture with their kids. I mean, godly things. Just make sure your house is clean. Use holy water, use holy salt. You can cook with the salt. You can, you know, use the oil to bless your kids before they leave the house, before they go to bed. I mean, these are, you know, pray for your kids. Pray for your kids. Uh, Monsignor Rossetti, I'm sure you guys all heard about Monsignor Rossetti. The name of his website is the St. Michael Center for Spiritual something. You'll know it. It's easy. Monsignor Rossetti, you'll get there. He has a monthly deliverance session where he'll do deliverance prayers. There's a prayer, there's a specific prayer. I'm pretty sure I wrote about it on my website. I know I did. I just don't remember the name of the article where you can say a prayer protecting your kids. So, you know, your parents, you have power over your kids. You can pray over them, pray for them, pray with them in your house, the rosary. If you don't start early, it's not going to be fun, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. You know, so if dad's on board, then dad says, hey, we're going to pray a rosary every night at 7 o'clock, and you pray a rosary. That's huge. I mean, you're just inviting God into your house. You're just showering all that onto yourself and onto your family. And then, like I said, holy blessed candles, holy water, salt, that, you know, and there you go. You got it. Maybe Disney toys are bad. I fully agree. You may not have seen the signs. You know, I don't know. I mean, Disney toys, think about it. You know, they're all witches, but they always have been all of our lives, you know. But now Hollywood's a lot different than it was in the past. They've always, I mean, you know, Dorothy is a witch. That's one of the most famous movies probably ever. So, um, you know, if you think something like that is inappropriate for your kid, then don't get it for your kid. I don't know that they would be cursed, but you know, like those monster dolls. I wouldn't buy those monster dolls for my kids. What do you want to, you know, what do you want to, you know what I mean? Do that for? good things, positive things, holy things, not monster dolls and that stuff. Yeah, Bambi. Yeah, Bambi and Rudolph both lost parents, right? Didn't Rudolph lose a parent too? I can't remember. I thought so. Um, but yeah, it's very traumatic for children, but in all those, there's always so much trauma surrounded around Disney movies, isn't there? Uh, yeah, St. Michael Center for Spiritual Renewal. That's correct. Yep. And that's a great boy. He's doing really good things. Really good things. He has a couple books out too that would be worth a read for sure. Definitely. And you go on their website and you can sign up for all you do is sign up for the spiritual the deliverance prayer, and he sends you a link just like this, and you click it and you're on. It's usually on Monday or Tuesday nights at I think 6 o'clock. Well, depending on where you're at, 6 o'clock Central Time. Mhm. Well, don't be panicked, Cherie. She writes, was panicked because I bought my sister many of those figurines since she collects them. Well, according to EWTN, we're good, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Like I said, that was just what I heard, and I got rid of mine. Who should we follow to learn more about the war? The war? The war, what do you mean? Uh, the spiritual battle? Yes? Wow. Like I said, Monsignor Rossetti, Father Ripperger, his website is Libre Christe, I'm pretty sure. I actually have it on my thing, if I can see it right here. No, I cannot. Not right now. Father Dan Rehel. Any priest, you know, that you know of that is versed in deliverance prayer or as an exorcist, whatever questions you have. That's why priests are here, just ask. Or when you go to confession, ask the question. If one priest can't answer it for you, then you can always call your diocese and say, I have a question for the exorcist, or, a priest that, is into deliverance prayer. They'll direct you. They should direct you anyway. They quietly taught us to accept New Age and occult practices. Mickey in the 30s was a wizard. He was. And honestly, that was a good movie, honestly. They took the original Grimm fairy tales and removed the virtue. They did. You're right about that. It's Hollywood, guys. I, I can say with pretty much certainty that those people are pretty evil. Look at what they put out. Look at the movies that are out there. Look at, my gosh, I just listened to Father Daniel Rehil talk about a movie coming out with Nicole Kidman where she's going to have sex with animals. That's the sickest thing. I mean, what were we at in the world that this kind of stuff is happening? And you go and you watch that, you think that's not an open door. That's an open door to the demonic 1,000,000%. So this is the kind of world we live in now. So you have to be careful what you let your kids watch on TV. I know people that shut their TV off. They don't even have a TV. How do we talk to our kids about that, no matter how old they are? About what? You're sorry, Kendra. About not watching about Hollywood? Well, straight up, just like you would anything else. I mean, it's evil. You can show them how evil it is. My gosh, all you got to do is look at the TV. You know, like horror films, I would never watch a horror film or a hacker film. I've never been able to my whole life. Some people are okay with that. I'm not one of those people. Um, all you have to do is look at, it's also evil. There's nothing's good. Even if you watch a good show, it always turns out to be bad in the end. Someone dies, or, you know, it's completely impure. It's just awful. There are also people who seek witches to cast spells against people they don't like or envy. There are also people who ask witches to cast spells. Sure. Those are people that are, well, they're not godly people. They're clearly not going to church. They're using, the evil and the darkness to hurt other people. They might not be witches themselves, but they're willing to pay somebody to hurt someone else. That's awful. I mean, horror films give me nightmares for years. I'm too sensitive for that stuff. Honestly, I went to a movie when I was a kid, when I was a teenager with my girlfriend, and the first scene of the movie was, I can't remember the name of the movie. A woman was sitting in front of a mirror and she was combing her hair, and an invisible demon started to beat her up, and the theater was packed. This was years ago, guys. I literally looked at my friend. I go, I'm not doing this. And I got up and walked right out of the theater. She was so mad at me. She really wanted to watch it. I said, no, I'm not. And we went and watched some other movie. Yeah, The Exorcist stayed in my mind for decades. Yeah, I watched The Exorcist. Yeah, yeah, Or Emily Rose, wasn't that it? Wasn't her name Emily Rose? That was a movie too. That one wasn't horrible bad, but I mean, it's kind of creepy. I remember a priest getting asked once, do you watch those? And, he said that he did, just to see how true they were, because he was an exorcist. So just stay away from them. You can't see a picture of Linda Blair even as herself. You're so funny. Oh, are you still on the phone? You are.
Here.
Okay, there we go.
So what other thing do you think we should all keep in mind when it comes to looking and identifying witchcraft?
Well, if something seems weird, it's probably weird, right? If it seems supernatural or preternatural is a better word, then you have to go to your priest, have your house blessed. If there's anything weird happening in your house, um, there's usually a feeling associated with that, right? The priest is your friend. He's the one. He's the one who Jesus works through in the Holy Spirit. And they're the ones that can protect you from anything. I might have told this story in the other interview we did, but everything was fine in my house. And one day it wasn't fine. My husband was crazy. I was filled with anxiety, kind of like before. I couldn't get anything done. I couldn't focus. I couldn't think. That's a huge thing. If you're being attacked by witchcraft, you can't think very well. And it took me about a month to figure it out. I don't know why it took me that long, because it was familiar. And I finally went to a priest friend of mine and I said, you need to help me. Something's wrong. So I told him what was happening, and he had me read something out of a book. I don't know what it was, one of his books. And he told me that he had pain here when I was reading it. And he prayed some prayers over me. He did my whole house, and everything went back to normal. Just like that. That's how powerful the priest is. So, and your faith has something to do with that. You have to believe. You have to believe in God and Jesus and in his power to save you from whatever it is. Now some people that, it took a really long time for me to be healed of all the things that were all the curses and all the terrible things they did to me. But I didn't have a priest like you guys do today. So that's why I keep saying how important it is to, anything that you feel is going wrong, go talk to your priest. And if you think you need your house blessed, bless your house. You can actually have your house enthroned to the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I would suggest everybody do that. You can take the medals. I'm not looking at you. You can take the medals. Did you see? I wasn't looking, and you wrote that. Have you ever had your house exorcised? Of course I have. That's what the priest did when we were having those problems. He did I always say that exorcism blessing on the house, exorcism blessing on me, exorcism blessing on my candles, my water, my salt, whatever it is, exorcism blessing. And God has been gracious enough to send me an exorcist and deliverance priests, and I'm super grateful for it because I really need it. I don't even want to move, and eventually I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to find another exorcist priest when I move, you know. So we haven't yet. What do you mean we haven't yet? What does that mean? How can you protect your kids? We haven't yet. We keep saying what we need to. I don't understand the question. Cherie, make that more clear for me. Does she hear me? Well, she will in a minute. But like I said, you want to use the sacramentals in your house. You want. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, you know what? Just go to your priest. And you know what you can do is you can go online and Google the enthronements, and you can print it all out. I had a priest come here, he didn't even know what it was. There may be priests that do, there may be priests that don't, you know, they don't know everything. So you can print it out and you can say, hey, I want you to do this enthronement for me, and he can do that. I had my house enthroned when I first moved here, and my priest did tell me, which means I really need to have it done, to have your house blessed once a year. That surprised me, but okay, I'll do it, especially if you have children in your house, teenagers, you know. It's true. I can't hear you, Kendra.
That's because I'm on mute.
Yeah.
You can do the Epiphany blessing yourself every year.
Yeah.
And you have a picture of Jesus and Mary when you got enthroned?
I have the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Mary all over my house.
There you go.
In multiple rooms. Yeah. Can any priests do an exorcism blessing? Do an exorcism? Yeah, any priest can do that as long as they know it. I think a lot of them do now. Father Rippiger has a book specifically for priests. So we have this one. This is for the lady. And then there's a bigger book, a giant book. I got it for a priest friend of mine. And he told me that he used some of the prayers in there for a priest, and it worked great. It was instant. So yeah, any priest can do it. They just have to be willing to, I guess. I don't know why they wouldn't. Exorcist blessings are the old rite, so they have to have that. I don't know. You would have to ask a priest about that. I've heard him talk about that. You know, like with baptism and stuff. Like I said, I have a priest friend that's an exorcist, and he does the old rite on baptisms for sure. And he has all the books for exorcisms.
Okay, if you don't have a good priest, find one.
Well, yeah. I mean, some priests are educated in that stuff. Some priests aren't. Some priests might even be afraid of it, but you know, you can always call your diocese. So, like, some people are going to be afraid to go to their pastor and say, hey, you know, I got this happening to me, or that happening to me, or I want my house blessed with an exorcism blessing. You know, you can always go to a different church and ask a different priest, or you can call the diocese and say, this is what I need. Can you tell me who can do this for me? And they should do that. I don't know why they wouldn't.
I gotta think of
Okay.
So you may have to repeat that if they can't hear them.
Okay.
If you feel like you are getting attacked by a witch, what exactly should you do?
If you feel like you're getting attacked by a witch, what exactly should you do? Okay, well, the first thing I would do is go to confession. And the second thing I would do is talk to the priest, either in the confessional or make an appointment right after that. Okay, so go to confession. Even if you don't think you're in mortal sin, go to confession anyway. And say to the priest while you're in confession, this is what's happening. If we don't have time to talk about it here, can I come and speak with you? And I'm for sure that he will talk to you. For sure. For sure. We have an amazing priest. We just procrastinate having him come to bless the house. Well, don't procrastinate anymore. Call him tomorrow. That's what I would do. I would call him tomorrow and just set an appointment. You know what? You could say, hey, you want to bless our house and have him for dinner. And you get to know him a little bit and you get a house blessing on top of it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, we all have to have our house. I should really have Father come and do my house too, because it's definitely been longer than a year. Old rite on St. Benedict medals to place the four corners of property. Yes, I was going to say that earlier and I got distracted, but I did that immediately as soon as I moved here. So on the four corners of my property and also above the doors, you can put St. Benedict medals. You can get a picture of St. Michael and have St. Michael in your house too. That's important. I actually just have a little card. I need to get a picture of St. Michael to put in the house for sure. That's important. Any more questions? Last question, she says. She's open it up for the last question. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to repeat this.
Can't believe this happened.
Well, you know what? It's just proof that this is the spirit of games. The spirit of games. That's what we should have done. We should have bound the spirit of games in the beginning. So demons don't want this information out there. Yeah, the Epiphany blessing written on the doors of our homes. Yes. That's in what month is that in? Is that in early in the spring? I can't remember when the Epiphany blessing is. Or is it near Pentecost? I can't remember. Is it January? Is it January? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it being cold when I wrote. I don't know. Well, we'll have to Google that.
Get Brandon to. He's the spiritual leader of the home. I made Jeff do it. I prayed the prayers.
She made Jeff do it. Write the Epiphany blessing. She's telling me I have to have my husband do that. We'll see. I can ask. Is it not popping on the screen? There we go. I don't understand that. So pay attention to how you and your family is starting to change. What does that mean?
Yeah, like quiet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I changed. Yeah, well, kids in general, especially teenagers, if you think about it, they're being bombarded with, crazy stuff at school all the time. And I got really sad and depressed when I was a teenager. I mean, I think we all do when we're teenagers, because I think that's when we start to really we mortally sin, and then we separate ourselves from God. So, talk to your kids about God, go to church, take them to confession. I got to tell you, we have a really big parish and lots of people go to confession there. Most of them are adults, not all of them are kids. And we have a really, really big parish. Kids need to go to confession on the regular. They might not like it, but it's a very important thing to do. If you see that, I mean, look at all the suicide rates and stuff out there. That's because there's no God, And when kids start getting into the new agey stuff and they're opening these doors, they're influenced too by, I mean, if you think they can't get attacked, they can. So confession is a big deal. Okay, she says, thank you, everyone. Last call for questions. Otherwise, I will let Wendy go. So there we go. So sacraments, guys. Sacraments and the priest. Keep your house holy and clean. And you do that with the sacramentals. So there you go. We're good? One more? No? Okay, she says, personally, I want to thank you for all of your help. Do you have a copy of your book to show? I do, but I have to get up to get it. So give me 1 second. Oh, let me see. This is a proof copy, so it won't have that line across the middle, but I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, so that's my book. You can get it on Amazon. The ebook also you can get on Amazon. Okay, Kendra says you can check in the description of this video for the link to get yours. Yes, so she'll have the link to my book on there. I also have a website. It's called conquerthedevil.com, where I wrote a good amount of articles on, discouragement, isolation, depression, fear, anxiety, all those things, so that people can recognize what an attack actually is and how you feel and, how you change. So, oh, thanks, Kendra. Yeah, conquerthedevil.com. So I'm hoping, that the book will help people, that the website will help people, and please pray for me. Pray for me to write more articles, because the devil doesn't want me to, that's for sure. So, okay. One, she's doing this. Okay, everyone, go pray and fight the spiritual battle. Yes, pray for Wendy for sure. We love you. Well, thank you for having me. I hope I helped people here, gave you, some good information. Okay? All right. Bye. Poor Ken.